All right, it looks like we're live.
Hi, everyone.
Hey everyone, this is Jasmine, founder of Beyond the Prophy, and I am here with the founder of Student RDH, founder of SmarterDA, Claire Jeong. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hi, good to have you all this evening.
So we're super excited to talk to you about the Inspire the Future Summit that's happening June 7th through 8th, 2019 in Largo, Maryland. And one of our faculty, one of the many first faculties that we thought of having was, we've got to have Claire Jeong, because you have dedicated so many hours of your time really just focusing on how students can better prepare to take these examinations, whether they are in the course and regular curriculum for dental hygiene, and then just preparing them on the national level. So kind of want to highlight the topics that you're discussing at our event and really express to educators why this is a must-attend event for them this year.
Yeah. Well, thanks for the wonderful presentation, Jasmine. I'm so excited to be part of the inaugural event of Inspire the Future. First of all, I love the name because that's really what we're trying to do as educators all around the country, right? To inspire the future generation. So good job on that.
Thank you.
And then, I would love to invite everybody to really think education as not just education, but as a movement. Because there's something that's really dear to my heart that I am introducing that is called the wake up memory. So that's one of the memory techniques that I redeveloped for our dental professionals. So I grew up doing this all my entire life, and I was that weird kid actually that could remember a lot of things if I wanted to. If I don't want to, it's okay. But I was good at school, obviously, and I moved 3 different countries in my life. So I had to learn very quick. From France, I lived in France my whole entire childhood. Then we went to Korea, completely different language. I had to jump right in there, and then went to the United States. So,
Wow.
culture, it made me learn really fast. But luckily, I had my mother who was an educator and who was a great influence to me. So basically, this is how it works. We want to memorize a bacteria name, the things that we learn in CE courses, what is the name of the pharmacology drug that I just learned, what is the number 3 most important drug in the US, and we forget a lot of things, and we can extend it to your credit card number. I mean, don't you wish you knew your license plate like that, or credit card number, 5 different of them, depending on what you want to buy? I mean, life would be so much easier, right?
I'm one of those weird people that know my credit card number by heart.
Yeah.
And my license plate number, but a lot of people, it's hard to remember those numbers,
It's going to be easy after this. I'll tell you exactly how to memorize that. So obviously at Inspire the Future, our focus is going to be dental hygiene, because I'm not here to talk about credit card numbers, but you're going to learn the process of doing so. So it's very simple. It's a secret that nobody knows. But so here it is. The first step is to observe whatever you're seeing right now, the phrase, the drug name, the person's name. And then second part is to connect it with something that you already know. And the third part is able to add some feelings to it. So let me quickly give you an example. So Crestor, Crestor, that's the number 3 best-selling drug in the United States. Now, what is it used for? When you see that in a patient's chart, do you know immediately, okay, this patient has this condition, therefore I need to be cautious with those dental implications, right? So, do you know what it is, Crestor?
Cholesterol.
Yeah, right there. Amazing. How did you know that?
It's one that you often see. So by the time that you see it, you're familiar with it.
Okay, great.
Yeah,
so you go into experience by repeating.
Yes.
Okay, so if you didn't know, especially the students when you're teaching pharmacology or they're in clinic yet, it's still getting, to understand the patient and how to review the medical history, they might not know what it is, but as an instructor, this is what you can tell them. So first of all, you observe, right? Crestor. And what I imagined was Crestor, cream store, like an ice cream store. So I know it's not exactly the same connection, but it's strong enough, similar enough, so you can pick it back up, you can find the clues there. So once I have a ice cream store, you can imagine the next step is to connect what you already know, which is an ice cream store that you can relate to. And now the third part was to add some feelings. So which ice cream is your favorite? You know, mine is the Haagen-Dazs vanilla. I think it's just the best in the world. Those fine little, grains of vanilla, it just changes my world. So here you are adding some feelings. You're feeling it in your mouth. You're smelling the vanilla, and there you go. Your neurons have connected. So we're connecting the short-term memory to the long-term memory. Very short, 10 centimeters probably, but there are billions of neurons in there. So it's our job to connect them, or not just gonna live here like your Pizza Hut number, or your immediate like rental car license plate is just gonna go out. You're not gonna find it again. So it's, we're gonna talk about different subjects. So it's not limited to pharmacology. It can be applied to oral pathology also. Anything that you learn, how do you get the short-term memory to get into the long memory so you make this amazing database in your brain. So that's one of the topics.
Yes, and we need that because I remember in school, especially with perio, my hygiene bestie and I used to spend time creating these long acronyms. To remember these concepts, because there was so much information that you're piling on, and it's so important as faculty. We're always trying to get creative in how we're presenting the information and learning the techniques that you have created and have used for your own education, and what you're also teaching your community of students who are going through Student RDH and successfully passing the boards. It works. Like, these are strategies that work.
Definitely, they work. I'm doing it over and over again. And for example, even students who have learning disability, those are actually even better because it's using their brain in a different manner. So for example, Sarah, which I coached, after she failed the exam twice, she came to me and didn't know who she was back then. But anyways, we went through this coaching and I told her exactly how to use this. Now, I didn't give her everything, but I gave her the methodology of it. And from there, she's been able to learn, she's been able to pass the boards. So, we all create mnemonics, right? We can all do that. We're used to that. There's, for example, the 12 cranial nerves, right? You probably have that already. So that is an example of how you're using kind of the wake up memory technique. However, not every mnemonic works actually, because there's a specific system to create it. So that's what I'm actually teaching. It's not like I'm going to give you an example of like for every single chapter, but the basics so you can apply it everywhere.
Absolutely.
So yeah, we're going to learn that because, to be honest, not everything that I see out there, it kind of looks like a fun mnemonic, but it doesn't exactly connect to the core content. So there's some missing parts there. So because I've done it so many times and I wrote an ebook on that, we'll be able to dive into that directly. And I would love to just share everything that I know about it. So you can, as an educator, empower your own students.
Yes, I love that. I love that so much. And one of the great things that each attendee will receive when they come to this event is they're going to get a workbook. And in that workbook, they'll have tangible steps, actionable steps that they can start implementing as soon as they get back. And then in addition to that, they get a chance to be a part of a community so that we can continue to collaborate in a private area where, if there's a question that we have, if there's support that we need, if we need to reach out to another faculty member, there's no reason why we can't work with one another. I think one of the most important things that we need to remember, and I love the fact that you brought this up, Claire, is the fact that we are inspiring the future. And I firmly believe, although education is not free, it should be, and we should be equipped, especially educators. They sacrifice so much. They sacrifice so much time, so much energy, so much resources. And the time is now for us to start giving back to them and just really helping to support them in their efforts for the students.
Education is really a special work. Like in this world, I would honestly really place educator at a different level. It's not just about the knowledge you share, it's the heart, it's the brain, it's the vibe, it's everything.
Yes.
And I love, like, you know, you're thinking, forming a community, a safe community for everybody to collaborate. And there may be holes, you know, in their own system at the schools, and maybe they can learn from someone else at the conference. And I know the kind of conferences you've been putting, Jasmine, and I think, you know, among any other conference that are going on in dental hygiene, Jasmine does the best job
Oh,
putting
thank
this,
you.
bringing this community. Everything is fun. There's a sense of humor to it. Everybody feels uplifted. Yeah, so it's a very, I have no doubt this Empire of the Future will be just something that the educators needed. And, you know, you're the right person to do so.
Oh, thank you, Claire. I appreciate it. And I appreciate you because you've been with me every step of the way and contributed in so many ways with your knowledge and your support. And I just love everything that you're doing with all of the amazing stuff that you have. So one of the key things that I also want to emphasize is not only are you going to give tangible steps to help with memory techniques, but you're also going to talk about the boards and how to prepare our students. You know, I tell you that fourth semester where everyone is trying to take their boards, getting ready for the clinical side, like the CDCA exam and the national boards. I mean, you can feel the energy, like the nervous, but excited energy. And I tell you, you handle it like a pro. I've watched you over the years work with the students with the amount of patience that you have. And I think it's so important to have you there to also say, like, hey, you know, we've got this as educators, and this is a way we can support them to help prepare them for the boards.
Yeah, I can totally relate to when, like, spring comes, you know, that's when everybody's taking their boards.
Yeah.
There's like, you're walking on eggshell.
Yeah.
And graduation is coming at the same time. So, you know, luckily, you know, it's one semester, but, you know, the role of our educators is so important there, because it's not just supporting the students with their knowledge. Half of the game is mental. It's not, do I know it or not? Is, am I prepared mentally, physically for this? Because this is like a marathon. You're there, national boards, 8 hours, 350 questions that just come at you. And our eyes, you know, we're humans, we were hunters. We were not made to be just sitting on a computer for 8 hours. However, we have to endure that. That's why I say it's also a physical challenge. So we have to prepare ourselves well, right? And if I think about what is the main concern for dental educators when it comes to boards prep, it would be, first of all, how do I prepare them for critical thinking? And second, how do I prepare them for the case study? So case study is the second portion of the national boards, which is about 40% of the entire boards. And there's a lot coming at them. You know, photograph, radiograph, charts, and patient profile, all of them you have to combine together in order to find your answer. And I was thinking about an analogy today, and I was thinking about, so you learn how to prep, like you learn how to cook your carrots, you learn how to cook your chicken. Now you have to come up with this 5-course meal.
Oh my goodness.
So now you have this critical thinking going on today. What is going to come first? What do I need to cook first in order to make this happen? How do I need to layer those on top? How can I make this, keep this warm while we're still eating this? Or how do I make the salad not soggy because this is only the second course or something like that? So I was thinking about that analogy. I was also thinking about the triathlon analogy. Saying, okay, you learn how to swim, you learn how to do this, now do it all in one day, and you have to combine all of them, and you cannot be exhausted. You still have to go through the finish line. So depending on your experience, you can take, you know, either of the analogies. But that's the thing, our educators, we put so much effort in teaching them radiology, we teach them orthopathology, everything they have to know. But then those live in their own segment in the student's head. We don't really know how to put it together in their head so they can think critically. Right? So, you know, that's a very, very, very big challenge. It's not just dental hygiene, it's anything out there. We teach them in chunks.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what the case study is about, everything combined together. And
Yes.
I'll definitely talk about what we can do to combine together. And also what I would like to talk about is how to really understand the layers of complexity and to peel them off to pinpoint where it hurts. So what I would suggest is, and I hope we can just do this together actually, the educator taking the seat of the student and kind of just go through the process so we can feel it. So that if I give a case study and that we are going to find the answers, but everybody will have to write down their answers step by step. I don't want just say A, B, or C. Actually, we don't care about that. We just care about the thought process. Like when you have math, it's like 3 + 7 multiplied by 10 divided by 4 is, you have to write down each step. Do I put things in parentheses first? What do I do first? Line by line, just like that. In any case scenario, we have to understand line by line where the logic went. And as an educator, we have to be able to pinpoint right here, your logic was wrong. Not your answer was wrong, I don't care about that, but where your logic was incorrect. So we find those missing links in between, and when we can tackle those, they can start to correct themselves.
Yes.
It's like being the coach saying like, you're singing, too loud at this point, or, if you were an actor saying you keep saying this wrong, or like, you need someone to tell you this is happening and why. So, I would invite everybody to kind of go through those steps of thinking out loud. We're going to all write it down, and we're going to find a way to how to tackle that. So if you had a group of 30 students in your class too, I would invite everybody to do the same exercise. You go through all those 10 steps of logic, even for one question. And instead of asking one student to just go over the correct answer, it would be everybody give me your dissected knowledge, and I'm going to give feedback to everybody about exactly where the knowledge was, not well put together.
Yes. Yes.
So that's, one of the things. And another very important aspect, I think, of everything we do in dental hygiene, especially with the case studies, is that we have to train our students to think about the best or the better answer. There's actually no correct answer. Of course, if we talk about simple science, radiology, the gamma rays and things like that, yes, there's one answer. However, when we have a patient, just like as in real clinic, it's not black and white anymore.
Yes.
There are subtleties. And I think our education system, we train them to think about one answer. And that's where the panic comes from, saying, oh my God, you guys are trying to trick me. I didn't learn this. Like, I can't do this. Yes. There's something wrong with me. But there's nothing wrong with you. It's because we're trained to find one answer, when usually in a case study, unless it's really black and white, there's some subtleties to that. For example, you can think, okay, the patient needs para-charting first, or does the patient need intraoral camera first? All of those are needed, but which one is the best in this one scenario? So we have to teach our students, I think, when it comes to the board examination, to think that way.
Yes, yes.
So, yeah, we're going to look at
that. Yeah, and when you put yourself in their shoes, it really gives you a broader perspective of like the process that your students have to go through. And one of my favorite courses to teach were public health and local anesthesia. But public health will always have my heart. And one of the reasons for that is I actually did case studies for each topic that we would work on. And it was phenomenal to see the progress of the students once you read it together. You have them work in groups, and then you actually go through each answer and choose what the best one is. And there's always that really close one, like you said, best and better. There's always that really, really close one. And it's the most challenging aspect of training yourself. You've got to train yourself. And so I think that's really powerful that you state that. And I can't wait to see like the collaboration among the faculty as they start thinking, okay, what more can I do to start training these critical thinking skills that are necessary for these case studies that are going to show up on their boards.
You're right, you're right. And you know that the critical thinking is just probably everything because you know I talk to faculties all the time and students all the time. And you know, everybody asks me, well, do you know everything that's going to come up on the examinations? And I'm the founder of Student RDH, but I'll tell you, you know, I don't know exactly what's going to happen. They have a question bank of tens of thousands or if not millions of questions.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't consider my job to like spoon feed you. Okay, you just need to know this and you don't have to know this. No, obviously we summarize it the best way we can, but it's really putting this information into action that really counts. So it's
Yes.
really helping everybody to go through that critical thinking process. So no matter what comes at them, they're equipped with that. And obviously the basic is that you have the information, you memorize the information that you needed, right?
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I'm
Yeah.
telling you, I'm stoked because we have created this conference where we don't want any travel barrier to come in the way of getting excellent education. So
Mhm.
we're partnering with Dental Cast Productions. You're going to get a chance to meet Claire in person live, find out about Student RDH and about her other resources that she has. She has an amazing ebook that you could
It's
have
all free. We're
access
going
to
to give it to you, yeah, for
for
inspiring.
free. Okay.
Yeah.
And we're going to be partnering with Dental Cast Productions, so you can attend it live, which is one that I'm going to definitely recommend because we're going to have so much hands-on. There are going to be some goodies in there that we're going to have for just you for showing up. And then we also have the virtual option. So if you can't make it to Largo, Maryland, you can sign up for a virtual option and watch these courses live stream. So check it out at bit.ly, bit.ly/inspire the future. We want to see you there. We want to support you. We want you to be successful in all that you do. So thank you, Claire, for joining today. I really appreciate you.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for having me. And I can't wait to share everything that we have compiled to make you and everybody, you know, to inspire the future.
Yes.
Yeah.
Woo! All right. Well, thanks for joining us today.
All right. Thank you. See you soon.